Hi, my name is Mike Ebert. I'm the enterprise team lead at Indicio. Today, we're going to be doing a demo of governance. A little background on governance. So there's several different platforms for issuing credentials that are open source. So anyone could go and download software that would allow you to issue or verify verifiable credentials. And it's really great to have an open platform that anybody can access and use. That's really awesome. But it comes with a little bit of a problem that needs solving, which is, how do I know that a credential that I'm working with was issued by a party that I can trust? Or how do I know that I'm sharing my data with a party that is going to respect my data and is not just trying to steal it from me and use it for illicit purposes? So one way to accomplish that is with a governance file, where a leader of an ecosystem does the research to find the DIDs, or find the agents, the software that the ecosystem participants are running, and say, yep, I've done my homework to know that this particular issuer or verifier is being run by a party that we trust. And so I'm going to list those DIDs or those agents in a governance file. And I'm going to add a little bit of information that describes what those agents or pieces of software are expected to do. Do we expect them to issue a particular credential? Do we expect them to verify a credential? Do they have multiple roles where they could verify a set of credentials and then issue some from several options? The governance file can help you know, so that when you start to interact with an ecosystem, you know who to trust and for what purpose. So today we're going to demo a couple different use cases. We're going to demo a standard credential issuance and verification without governance. And then we're going to start setting up a governance file and show that at each step, as you add things to the governance file, the software starts with the use case of, if you're not in my governance file, I'm going to reject you. And so we'll see several variations of error messages because the governance file is not fully set up yet. By the time we get to the end, we'll do a demo where the governance file is set up properly. Everything goes back to working the way you would expect, with the added bonus of knowing that you're interacting with parties that someone did the homework to validate and ensure we're trustworthy, and list in a governance file that you can follow. So we're going to start off with our issuer and verifier, and we're going to go to the governance tab to show that there's no governance file active at the moment. None there and none there. So issuer and verifier don't have any governance there. So we'll kick off the workflow from the home page here. We're going to scan an invitation to connect from Holder Plus with a brand new clean install. And for convenience sake, we're just going to select one of the pre-written options here for testing that pre-populates all the data. So this is a driver's license credential. So we've filled in all the driver's license values, and we'll go ahead and send that. We'll take a look at this credential offer. And it's got some driver's license fields and an image encoded in text. And we're happy with our credential here, so we'll go ahead and accept that. And there, our credential was issued successfully. So that's the issuance part without governance enabled. So now let's do a verification. So on the verifier, we can go out to the home page and there's an easy workflow for verifying here. So we're going to connect to our verifier. And now we can select a credential to verify. So we're going to verify driver's license. As you can see, that comes through just fine. This one's a selective disclosure, so we're only sharing a couple of the attributes from the driver's license. So we'll share that. Now that our details have come through, that shows that we can successfully verify a credential without governance. So next, we're going to do some governance. We're going to create a governance file, and we're going to put some agents into it, but we're not going to grant them any permissions. So we'll go back to the issuer, that's our agent managing the governance. Go to the governance editor, and we're going to create a new file. So we're going to say create, and we're going to put in the author did for this machine, and we're going to put a driver's license governance name in here, and a description, and a version number, and a format number. We'll go ahead and add that metadata. So now we've begun a governance file for managing driver's licenses. So our next step is going to be to go to schemas, and we're going to add the schema for driver's licenses and a description and a name for this credential. We'll add that schema to our governance file. Finally, we're going to go add some participants, some agents that will be a part of this ecosystem. So the first one we're going to add is the driver's license issuer. And we'll go ahead and edit the details for this particular agent. So our did happens to be in the browser memory here, but you can type it in. And so there's some details about the driver's license issuer. We're not going to add any authorized to issue or authorized to verify permissions at this time. Now let's go back and add another participant. And this one's going to be the driver's license verifier. We'll add that one. We'll go edit some data about it. So there's a verifier. Let's see, the did was this one. We can put the same website and an email for now. And we'll update that. Same thing, we're not going to add any permissions to issue or verify to the verifier. And then now that we've got our two participants added, we'll go back to the main screen here, and we're going to download to files for this governance file that we built. So we're going to save that to our database. And just to show that I'm not doing smoke and mirrors here, we're going to say governance framework driver's license. So there's our new governance file. We'll save that. And then we're going to go make sure that the verifier has that loaded. We got to log in here. We'll log into the admin. And we'll go to governance, and we'll browse for governance framework driver's license. And we'll upload our governance file. So now it's here, and we'll go ahead and activate that. So now we can do some a verification to see if the governance file is going to affect things in any way. And because we've not added the right to do issuance or a verification to either of our ecosystem participants, when this verifier tries to verify a driver's license, we should get an error message. So we're going to go out for our nice and easy verification flow here and give this a try. So we're going to scan this QR code to connect. And we're going to request that driver's license. And we immediately get an error message. Not allowed to verify driver's license credential based on the active decentralized ecosystem governance or DGov file. So our agent recognizes that according to the governance it's supposed to follow, it is not supposed to be verifying driver's license credentials. And so it says, you know what, I'm going to behave according to the governance rules. So I'm not going to send that presentation request to the holder. So our next step is to go add permission to verify this particular schema to this particular agent. So we're going to go back to our participants. We're going to click on the verifier. We're going to add the ability to verify a driver's license. We'll add that permission to our driver's license verifier. And we'll go back to the home screen here. We're going to download our file again. We can just overwrite the driver's license file we did before. We'll replace it. And then we'll make sure that that file shows up in our list here as an active one. It's got to be in the admin for the verifier. Okay, so this is an old copy of the driver's license file. So we're going to go ahead and delete this and browse for a new copy and upload that and mark it active. So now let's go do a verification using our updated governance file. And this should work just fine because we now have permissions to request verifications for this credential. So we'll select the driver's license. You'll notice there's no error message here. We received the request on our mobile device. We see we're only sharing some of the credentials, so we'll go ahead and share this. Now, because the issuer was not authorized to be an issuer of this particular credential, the issuer of this credential is not found in an active governance file. So the error message is, hey, this issuer is not listed as somebody who can do this. So that's exactly what we expected. So the next thing to do is to go add the issuer as an authorized issuer, as one with this verifier will recognize. So we'll switch back to the issuer. And we'll go to the participants for the governance editor. We'll select the issuer. We'll add the role to issue a driver's license to this participant. And we'll download a new copy of our file. Replace the old one. We'll go to the verifier and log back in. Go to the list of governance files. We'll delete the old copy. We'll select the new copy and upload that and mark it active. And now we can go back to our verifier workflow that's easiest. So we'll select the driver's license credential to verify. And in this case, since we've added all our participants to the governance file, everything should work. So there's no error on the verifier that says verifier can't do this. The holder says, yep, I like to share this credential. And then the issuer should be recognized as a valid issuer. And there it is. There's the data that we shared. Everything was approved. And so then we've been able to look at all of the various situations that could arise with your governance. You could have no governance and be able to do whatever you want, but also worry about whether someone's a valid issuer or not. We can enable governance and step-by-step show that the agents that are involved need to have those settings added to the governance file. And once all of the participants in an ecosystem are in the governance file with the correct roles, then everything works again. And but unlike before, we're now certain that someone has vetted these agents and gone to the trouble of listing them in a governance file that we've loaded. Thank you very much.